Hello everybody, Ken Hertz here. This is The Joy of Mixing, and yes, I'm in a new spot as you can see here. Didn't move anywhere far, just upstairs from downstairs, so a little more cozy and a little bit just a better space for me to mix in, record in, and all that. So switched up a little bit. We are back. We have our live mixing session here on the screen. Just to kind of save time, I went through, which is going to be kind of a mix breakdown. Still the same idea. I'm still going to explain exactly what I did here. But I did go ahead and finish this up just because it was going to save time if I did that. Let me hit Command 2 here. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about where we're at. So we're going to go ahead and we have the room. Let me solo this room out and we'll hit play. Actually, let's go ahead and grab some of this. Hit play. So we put some Pro Q3 on this room. And basically with room mics, typically what I like to do is take out a little bit of, usually like 300, 350, 250, somewhere in that general range, 400 maybe even, somewhere in that range, just to kind of clear up the room mic a little bit. So did that, did some gentle high passing, as you can see, up to about 107. Get out of the way of the kick drum a little bit. Came over, did a little boosting around 3K, well actually around 4K, 3800. And just a little bit of low passing here at the very end. And so that, let's go ahead, I'm going to hit play. I'm going to push in or put in the Pro Q3, the EQ here, so you can kind of see what's happening. So you can hear that low end disappears, which is fine when we're talking about this room mic here. Okay, so that's what's going on with our room mic, the Pro Q3. Let's switch over now to, what do we have here? We have the room left and room right. Looks like Thureson CM402s. I'm just going to go ahead and solo these out so you can hear what's happening there. And let me hit Command 2. We'll bring up. So again, we're just doing EQ. That's all we're doing here. Left-hand channel, right-hand channel, slightly different EQs for each side, just so you can kind of, you know, it's a little bit more stereo. I went with different EQs just to kind of spread it out, just to kind of spread out the sound a little bit. Let's go ahead and throw these in. On this, on the right channel here, it's mud removal and control. Basically doing the same sort of thing on the left channel here, taking out some mud, taking out a little bit of low end, and you know, just like I said, used two different styles here of EQ just to kind of break up this sound a little bit. Here's without. Again, getting that low end, put it back in. take it out. You can hear a little bit on the top, and a little bit comes out of the bottom. Kind of hear some low mids here. There we're getting the low mids. And there they're gone. And again, the whole point of this is just to clean up some space, make some room for that kick drum, make some room for the toms, just make some room for all the other mics in general is really the only reason why I like to scoop out a little low mids in my room mics, maybe even some out of the overheads as well. So that is those two microphones. Let's go ahead and move on to the Marble Room. And again, if you've ever used a drum crush, this sounds a lot like a drum crush would sound. You know, if I solo it here, it's going to sound pretty trashy, which if you throw a compressor on a drum bus and just smash the hell out of it, it's going to sound pretty trashy, which can be good. Sometimes you want that energy build up underneath, which is exactly what I felt like this track was giving us. So let me go ahead and hit play here. It's kind of hard to hear. I'm going to just pull up a little bit so you can see, so you can hear. Right, so we don't want this trashy sound. Watch when you put this in the mix. Sounds to me like it's affecting the snare more than it is anything else. Snare sound kind of starts to sound all over the place, but when we bring it back, let's take it back to, I believe, or abouts I had it. All of a sudden the snare clears up. And again, if you ever do this, sounds like you have a room full of snares. Again, just bringing that underneath adds energy to your kit. Let's go and show you what we did. Again, this is pretty much just EQ. Getting some of the brightness and resonance control out of this. You know, just kind of adding some of the brightness to it, not too much, and controlling the resonance a little bit. Let's hit play here. Take the EQ out. Kind of getting that resonance. And that just sounds a little bit better. It's very subtle. Not dealing with a whole lot of low end in this track, so no reason to really high pass here. Okay, so that's the Marble Room / Drum Crush. Okay, so then what did I do? I took all of my drums, you know, all of our drum tracks here, the kick, the snare, hi-hat, all of this stuff. Took it over here to bus 2, This is drum bus, so this is basically a master track for the drum kit. So if you wanted a little less kit, instead of, if you're in Logic, you would just highlight all these, and you could pull these down, pull each one of these down simultaneously by just highlighting them all. Or you could just do what I did, send your kit to a bus, it's all right here, and you can just, control your kit with one fader. It's like a VCA fader, more or less. So what are we doing here? Overall kit, look, not doing hardly much of anything. A little bit of boost at 58 just to bring up the snare, or bring up the kick a little bit, bring up the kick a little bit. Yeah, don't boost your snare at 58. Not saying you can't. It's probably going to give you a whole bunch of mud and stuff you don't need. And then taking out a little bit, again, this is from the overall kit, just taking out a little bit of that 340, I have it 343, but 300 to 350, 400, somewhere in that range is going to clear your kit up. So let's go ahead, solo out the kit here, hit play. Throw in the EQ. Again, these are subtle things. All right, so that's our EQ. Then to kind of control that resonance, that high-end kind of resonance frequencies that I'm hearing, is when where our good friend, our very good friend, if you don't have Soothe 2, I recommend it. I bought it recently, and man, I've been loving it ever since. So just to kind of clear up that high end a little bit, just wanted to bring Soothe in. It's a de-esser, it's a whole bunch of different things. I'm using it primarily as a de-esser. And in this case, just a drum room kind of harshness tamer. Let me go ahead and hit play. We'll throw this plug-in in so you can hear what it's doing. Put the plug-in in. We'll come down here to Delta. So this is what the plug-in is actually taking out. Back to our mix. Again, no plug-in. Back in. I feel like the cymbals are a lot clearer with the plug-in. Yeah, I really like this a lot. Okay, no plug-in. Put it back. So again, just using Soothe 2 as sort of a, getting rid of some of that harshness from the cymbals and the crash, and just trying to get the kit to be a little bit clearer was the reason for Soothe 2. Okay, so we bust our entire kit over. We put Soothe 2 on. What else did I do here before we go into the piano? Gave the kick, not the Lewitt mic kick, not the Lewitt mic that was on the kick, not that track, just the kick, the FET, the Neumann FET that was on the kick. Giving this a little UAD, just a little 1176 love, just to kind of just bump it, just give you a little bit more of a hit from the kick. Subtle, but it is there. Let's go ahead and hit play. We'll solo out the kick, and then we'll put in the plug-in. Here comes the plug-in. Giving us some punch, which was what we wanted. No plug-in. Still got that punch, but put it in, you really get it. Now you can overdo it. This would be overcooked. If we go to the whole mix, too punchy. So I had this down at 14.2. Getting about 3 dB worth of gain reduction. So definitely can hear that kick. Nice and thumpy, which is what we like. What I like, and especially for this kind of a track here, just, you know, you don't want anything crazy. Just a nice thumpy kick. Okay, snare, kind of the same deal. Giving it some 1176 love. I'm going to go ahead and solo out the snare here. Let's hit play. Bring in the 1176. Giving us a little bit of smack, nothing crazy. Again, what if we were to like, oh, let's play around, let's see what we have. Let's go ahead and throw the whole song in. Now if you wanted to get carried away, right now the snare's about to rip your head off. So, you know, you just want to make sure something like this, you have this lovely piano playing. You don't want a snare to rip your head off. You want to be able to hear the drum kit. You want to be able to hear the snare, but you also want to be able to hear this piano part. So no reason for crazy over-the-top snare hits. Okay. Then what we did was we bust the snare out, or I bust the snare out rather to, because you weren't here, you couldn't have done it. I busted out to the snare hit, so I just felt the snare could use just a little bit of ambience. So I went ahead, put this delay on here. It's just called snare hit. This is Slate Digital Repeater. If you don't have this plugin, I do love Repeater. It's great. It's great for a lot of different things. Snare hits is one of them. So let's go ahead and hit play here just to hear what this is doing. Let me bring it back down. And then here's with the snare itself. And then just to give you an idea, see that popping sound? Didn't want to hear some extra popping sound, I just wanted to hear a little bit of ambience in that snare hit. It's really all this plugin is doing, again in the mix. Okay, let's move on to the hi-hat, because we did use Soothe 2 again. Felt like the hi-hat was a little harsh at times, that it could use some taming. Just harsh hi-hat is the setting here on Soothe 2. Put this in and made a world of difference. Let me go ahead and just give you let you have a listen to this. Actually, we probably have to go find a hi-hat spot, which right here should work pretty good. Just bring up this again here. So here we are taming the hi-hat. And again, this is the frequencies we're taking out. So a little bit of harshness. High mid harshness, just pulling it out. And if we didn't have Soothe 2 in, you can hear just a little bit, little too harsh for my taste. Okay, so that would be the hi-hat. Let's move on now to the piano. What are we doing with the piano? Well, the piano is a great part. So what did we do here? Let's go ahead and start with this track here. Jack Joseph Puig, if you aren't familiar with any of his plugins, I recommend them, especially if you want to add color. It's the only way I can really describe what I like most about his plugins is just the fact that they add color. I'm going to hit play. Here's our piano with no plugin. Now with the plugin. Sounds dead. Sounds better. Sounds good, but a little lifeless. Sounds alive. So I definitely put the, I put Jack Joseph Puig, I put this plugin in there just to kind of bring it to life a little bit. And then I give it a little bit of SSL love, because why wouldn't you give it a little bit of SSL love? I think this is mostly for EQ points, taking out a little bit of 200. I think that's about it. Taking out a little 2K as well. Let's go ahead and put this in. This is more or less just to get the SSL flavor here. Take it away. Just a little bit of SSL seasoning on there. It was all we needed. We did actually, let's bring this back up here, bust it over to bus 4, which I believe is just a verb. Yep, just a Valhalla vintage verb. Just a little ambience on the piano. Let's go ahead and listen to that. I'll put that in. Sounds really nice. Take it away. Okay, so that's our verb on the piano. Let's go ahead now to the other tracks that we have here. Piano whole. When it comes to the piano whole, you know, you don't want it to be the main show. The main show here with the piano is our Lewitt, the 440 Pure. That is the main track you're going to hear when you hear this piano. Then you have these supporting rolls down here, and one of them is the piano whole, which just got some SSL love. Not a whole lot really going on. Boosting a little bit at 126, taking out a little bit of mids there at about 3K, a little 3K harshness, a little bit of 8.5K hertz boost. Little presence, and this is what we have. You might not be able to hear it because it's kind of soft. Take it away. Put it back. With the main track here. Then we have another supporting roll down here. This is again just a little SSL, more or less just for flavor. I'm not really doing a whole lot of EQ stuff. Taking out a little bit of 700. Really, that's about it. High passing a little bit. Let's go ahead and listen to just the foot pedal here. Put the plug-in on. Again, just for the vibe, not so much for anything else, just for vibe here with the SSL channel strip. And let's go ahead and listen to it all together here, the piano. Sounds pretty nice. Yeah, pretty nice. Okay, now we'll go ahead. That is the mix. That is how I went about mixing this particular track here. I'm going to go ahead and let you just give the whole thing a listen. Or maybe not the whole thing, but we'll just play it for a little bit. Let you give it a listen. If you have any questions, any comments, let me know down below. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified when more videos like this come out. This is a good one to the video, which I'll have linked down below, with Warren out at Hansa Studio and Charlie Clouser, the artist on this. Definitely worth a watch. Download these multi-tracks. You'll be able to listen to these microphones, mix this thing how you would like to mix it. And that's going to do it. I'm going to leave you with this song. And folks, until next time, take care. Happy mixing. I'll see you soon.